capital allowance and balancing allowance. So we have discussed in the last class, uh, accounting depreciation is not allowable expenditure based on the Inland Revenue Act. Rather, government has introduced a common rate that is uniform to all organizations to provide depreciation for same class of assets to minimize malpractices and misuses of that provisions. Right, the government willing to apply uniformity of depreciation policy for all companies. Right. Uh, in accounting, we say as depreciation, but the same term, same methodology we will apply for the calculation of income tax, but we apply the rates and number of useful years are provided by the act, the government, right, through number 24 of 2017 Inland Revenue Act. If we follow LKS to find depreciation, that is called depreciation, accounting depreciation. The accounting depreciation is not allowable expenditure under allowable expenditure when we calculate taxable income. So to calculate that allowable expenditure, we have to apply the government approved rule. So if we do calculate the depreciation based on the government approved rate, that is called capital allowance. So the capital allowance is the allowable expenditure. Right. So capital allowance, right? In tax we call capital allowance. In accounting we call as depreciation. Right. And balancing allowance, it's mean so when we dispose an asset, sell the asset, the fixed asset, and we will end up with profit or loss, right? So if in case of loss, we call as balancing allowance, right? As per the section 16, depreciation allowance and balancing allowances are allowed to be deducted in calculating a person's income from business only. The term is business only, not for the personal purposes. Capital allowances are, number one, granted in respect of depreciable assets owned and used. There are two conditions. The asset should be owned to the individual for the business, and that asset should be used for the business by a person at end of a year of assessment in the production of the person's income from business, right? Even though the asset is owned, belongs to the business and used for the production of income, that asset should be available at end of the year of assessment, right? And number two, the capital allowances are calculated in accordance with the provisions of second and fourth schedule to this act. So depreciable asset is defined as, that's the definition, right? Depreciable asset means an asset to the extent to which is employed in the production of income from a business and which is likely to lose value because of wear and tear, obsolescence, or passing of time, but exclude goodwill and an interest in land, a membership interest in any entity, and trading stocks. Accordingly, the following conditions has to be considered in respect of the depreciable asset. When claiming the depreciable assets, number one, ownership of the asset should be available to the relevant person, right? Legal ownership. legal ownership or ownership of the asset in any other ways as specified in the Act. So number one, the asset should be owned to the person. As per the section 42 to 49.2, lease has the lessee has the ownership of the asset obtained in the finance lease. So sometimes you may ask questions. So if the asset has purchased using finance lease, whether is it okay to make capital allowances? So that's another provision to make capital allowances for the finance lease assets. And number two, used by the person for production of income. So if the asset owned to the company, owned to the business person, and also the second criteria, second condition is the asset should be used for the production of income, right? Say machineries, furnitures, right, computers. These kind of items are utilized for the business for making profit. So what about car? The car, motor vehicle used by manager. So do this motor vehicle contribute to make profit for that business? Obviously, the answer is no. Therefore, we can't provide capital allowance for motor vehicles, motor car, especially which is used by the managers. If any depreciable asset is entitled for deduction of depreciation allowance, then such claimable cannot be deferred for the future period. So it should be claimed during the certain period of time. We can't deferred for the future periods. According to the fourth schedule to the Act, the following should be considered in calculating the depreciable allowance. So it's the same way as we calculate the depreciation in accounting, but the way of calculating depreciation and capital allowances both are technically same, right? But there are some conditions, right? Number one, straight line method and following formula should be used. So depreciable allowance equal A over B. So A simply depreciation basis of the asset at the end of the year of assessment. Depreciable, it means simply we call cost minus accumulated depreciation. A means what? Cost of the asset minus accumulated depreciation divided by B. B equal number of years relevant to each depreciable assets. So remaining number of years. Here, first one, it should be followed in straight line method. Number two, right, full depreciation allowance will be granted for the year of acquisition if such depreciable asset used up to the end of the year of assessment. Say in accounting, if you purchase assets middle of the accounting year, you will provide depreciation only for 6 months, right? The number of months you have used, the proportionally you will allocate depreciation for the year. But in taxation, in tax, even though you have purchased the asset just for 1 week in the year of assessment, you have to provide capital allowance for the full year, the full 12 months. No depreciation allowance will be granted for the year of disposal as such asset is not exist at end of the year of assessment. So even though you have used the asset for 11 months, but 11 months, then you have sold the asset. Finally, at end of the year of assessment, the asset is not available in your premises. Therefore, you can't make any capital allowances. Right. Third condition, no depreciation is allowed on road vehicle. No depreciation allowance is allowed on road vehicle. Number one, Road vehicle does not include, right? Does not include a commercial vehicle. So commercial vehicle means a road vehicle designed to carry a loads of more than one or more than 13 passengers, or vehicle used in transportation or vehicle rental business, right? So some people having a car at their home, right? So car, from the car only 5 people can travel at a time. So that's a road vehicle. Some people having a small minibus or van, right? So if the van is utilized for business purposes mean, so the van owners his main business is giving the van for rental, right? For that time, that asset is eligible to get a capital allowance, right? If any vehicle which are used to carry loads, say a batta, so that is not a road vehicle, right? That's a commercial vehicle. A business, a bus or minibus, definitely it's not a personal use one, right? So therefore it's not a road vehicle. A good vehicle, a goods vehicle, right? You use the vehicle to carry stocks, and heavy general purpose or specialized trucks or trailer, right? You may find in the road the long vehicles. So these are not road vehicle. Road vehicle means simply a car, right? Car or van for their personal use, or even the business use, but it's not directly joined with the business purposes, right? Car, especially car and dolphin van. So this kind of things are not road vehicles. A depreciation basis of a depreciable asset shall be the sum of, so depreciation basis here A, here this A mean what? A depreciation basis of the asset. So how do you calculate depreciable basis? Depreciation basis of a depreciable asset shall be the sum of, number one, depreciable basis written down value, sometimes we call as written down value of the asset at end of the previous year of assessment. End of previous year of assessment. Depreciable basis, written down value of the asset at the end of a previous year of assessment. Number two, amounts added to the depreciation basis of the asset during the year of assessment in respect of addition of the cost. So if you purchase new asset, that also should be included in their cost. For the purpose of calculating the capital allowances and depreciable assets, which have been distinguished between 5 classes of assets, and number of years applicable to relevant depreciable asset, which have been stated in the 4th schedule, so have been incorporated in the easy reference form, right? So when we visit in a factory, in a business organization, we may find there are 100 different types of assets. So you may find generator, furniture, motor vehicle, right? Cutting machine, assembly machine, right? Sewing machine. So there are different names we can observe, but it is impossible to put every names. So therefore, the government has categorized the items. The number of categories 5, right? So all the assets are categorized in the 5 categories. Say class 1, 5 classes. The class 1, computer and data handling equipment together with peripheral devices. So it's a computer, PC, laptop, calculator, right? Timing machine, right? And a server, right? Switch boxes, Wi-Fi router, for everything, whatever included is coming under this category. So number of useful years 5. For the accounting purpose, you may use a different useful life, but for the tax purposes, the maximum number of years, useful years, is 5. Second class of assets, a bus and minibus, good vehicles, right? Goods vehicle, construction and earth moving equipment, heavy general purpose or specialized trucks, trailers, and trailer mounted container, plant and machinery which used in manufacturing, also 5 years. Railroad car, locomotive and equipment, vessels, barges, ducks, and small similar water transportation equipment, aircraft, specialized public utility plant, equipment and machinery, office furniture, fixtures and equipment, any depreciable assets not included in other class. So that also 5 years. And building, structures and similar work of a permanent nature is 20. So all other assets except the class 4, the number of useful year is 5. Year is 5. Here 5 is class 1, 5 year. IT equipment especially we can say simply, and motor vehicle, right, vehicles, right, property plant equipments, sorry, vehicles 5, and property plant equipment, furniture 5, and building 20. Intangible assets excluding goodwill, right? In the provision of Inland Revenue Act, there is no capital allowances for goodwill. Intangible assets, say patent rights, royalties, that sort of things. The actual useful life of the tangible asset, or where the tangible asset has an indefinable useful life, 20, right? If their life is more than 20 years, the government is limit their useful life as 20. For other intangible assets, it is limited to their actual useful year, right? So these rates, so these 5 years mean what's the rate in the percentage? If the asset can be used for 20 years, so 5 years, so when we say in terms of percentage, so what was the percentage? Any answers, please? 20%. 20%, exactly, you are correct. 20%. This 20% is applicable when the asset is purchased in 2018-19. This means, in simple terms, this rate, this 20% rate is applicable only if the asset is purchased on or after 1st of April 2018, right? On or after 1st of 2018. So if you purchase the asset before the 1st of April 2018, you can't apply that rate. You have to use this table, right? This table, right? So if you purchase the asset before 1st of April 2018, you have to use this table, and if the asset was purchased earlier than this date, you have to use this table, right? Category of assets. Here there are 8 categories. In the new act, only 5 categories, right? So if you purchased, if the business has purchased assets, fixed assets after 1st of April 2018, you have to apply this table, table 1, right, according to the new Inland Revenue Act. If the asset is purchased before 1st of April 2018, you have to apply the previous rates of depreciation, right? So you have to check whether the asset is purchased between between this period. So if the asset purchase before 1st of April 2018, you have to apply this table, right? This table. So from 2011, 12 to 17, 18, this table you have to use. If the asset purchased before this date, you have to apply this rate, right? Right. First category, plant and machinery equipment. It can be used for construction industry, export industry, and other. So if it is purchased during this period, 2011-12 to 2018, you have to use the 53.33 for construction industry equipment, for export industry 50%, for any other 33.33. So motor vehicle or furniture 20%. Any qualified building 10%. For buildings 10. A certain building purchased, if you purchase building 6.67, right? Purchased. If you constructed 10%, and software which is developed in Sri Lanka, that is 100%. If you purchase imported from any other countries, the capital allowance is 25%. Software imported 25%, software developed in Sri Lanka 100%. Information technology equipment, in calculating equipment and accessories 25%. Any intangible assets 10%. So this table is very important. These rates are very important in your exam. When you exam, you can earn 30%, not 30%, 20% of your marks. It depends on this these rates. So these rates are very important, right? Based on this information, we will look at the example, right? So how do we calculate capital allowances, right? The example, the ABC is a garment factory. It acquired a machinery on 1st of June 2018 at cost of 1 million rupees and used it in the production of income. Suppose it continually use it for next 5 years, the depreciation allowance is calculated as follows, right? Can you tell me the asset, the machinery was purchased before 1st of April 2018 or after that date? We have to use a new rate or old rate for this machinery. We have to apply new rate or old rate. 20% for all asset, or we have to apply a different rate indicated by the previous date. See the date. It was purchased in 1st of June 2018. So we have to apply which rate? New rate, right? MS12 replied, new rate, good, right? Right. The asset has purchased on 2018-19. So what is the depreciation basis? At the year of purchase, do they any depreciation, previous depreciation? Can you find? No, you can't find any depreciation. So A equal how much? 1 million. A equal 1 million. How many years remaining at the time of purchase? 5 years remaining. So A equal 1 million, B equal 5. So A divided by B equal 200,000. For depreciation in capital allowance for the year is 200,000. Capital allowance for the year is 200,000, right? Then how much? Cumulative. So in the previous year, the depreciation was 0. This year, the asset has come into the organization. Therefore, we can observe only depreciation for this year. So therefore, cumulative depreciation equal to 200,000, right? When we come to the 2000 year 1920, the A becomes 800,000. How do we get this 800,000? So cost is 1 million, cumulative depreciation equal 200,000. So 1 million minus 200,000 equal 800,000, right? Equal 800,000. Then how many years remaining useful life? 4 years remaining. So in this information, they are not provided any information about the useful life. So even here, yeah, useful life, they not give the number of useful lives. But anyhow, as a tech student, you should know what is the useful life of the asset. Okay, it's 5. So A equal 800,000, P equal 4. So 800,000 minus 4, A divided by 4, B 200,000. So cumulative depreciation 200,000 plus this 200,000 equal 400,000. When we come to 2020-21, 800,000, sorry, cost is 1 million, cumulative depreciation 400,000. So 100,000 minus 400,000 equal 600,000. 600,000. So useful life remain 3. A divided by B, so 3. So likewise, end of year 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. In the 5th year, cumulative depreciation equal 1 million, and 2023-24 depreciation basis equal to 0. Depreciation basis equal to 0. So in this example, they have explained, try to explain how to calculate capital allowances. So first we have to calculate A. So this column, depreciation basis equal to A. Remaining number of years equal to B, right? Equal to B. But in accounting, the way of calculating is different. So how do we calculate in accounting? So every year, 1 million into 20%. Therefore, 5 years, 200,000, 200,000. The amount in both method amount are okay, but when we follow the rules, we have to calculation in this way, not like accounting, right? Anything to ask? Anything to ask? Right, now let's move to the next step. So when the business sell the asset, in accounting we find profit or loss on disposal of assets. Profit or loss on disposal of assets. Likewise, when calculating income tax also, we have to calculate profit or loss at the time of disposal of assets. If the business are getting loss, are facing loss, it's called balancing allowance. If they are getting profit, it is called balancing assessable charges. It's called assessable charges, right? Balancing allowances. Balancing allowances are made in respect of depreciable asset realized during a year of assessment, and in respect of which capital allowance have been granted in this year and earlier. Now we work out on how to calculate assessable charges and balancing allowances, right? Right. Disposable loss. When the organization, when the business, or when an individual sell any fixed assets, there are chances to make profit as well as loss. Now we look at the loss. How to calculate balancing loss? So how to calculate disposable loss? Balancing allowances. It's called as balancing allowances equal written down value of the asset, right? Written down value of the asset minus consideration receipt for the asset. Say it is equal to the money, the cash, right? Written down value minus cash. Written down value equal what? Written down value equal it cost minus accumulated depreciation. Written down value equal cost of the asset minus accumulated depreciation equal written down value minus cash. When realizing a depreciable asset, when considerations mean money received exceed the written down value, this is called assessable charges, disposable profit, and taxable as a business receipt, right? Assessable charge for disposable profit. How to calculate? Assessable charges form a part of person's business income and will be calculated in accordance with the following formula. Assessable charge equal consideration received, the money, the amount you have received minus written down value, right? So I will do the example, right? I will do an example for this. It's about repair. Right, in Excel, I will explain. So take a piece of paper and follow my instructions. Can you see the Excel sheet? Can you see the Excel sheet? Okay, right. Now, in year 2018-19, you purchased an asset, say lorry, for 1 million rupees. 1 million. You sold that machine, that lorry, for 500,000 in the year of assessment 2020-21. Then how much? Profit or loss? Profit or loss? Can you answer? So, right. Whatever is assessable charge or balancing allowance, there's a formula, right? It's called written down value. First, we have to calculate written down value. Written down value, how much? How to calculate written down value? Cost minus accumulated depreciation. Right. Cost how much? Cost is equal to 1 million. Cost equal 1 million. How much? Accumulated depreciation. Accumulated depreciation. How much? How to calculate this? So it was purchased in 2018-19, right? Purchased in 18-19. And again 19-20. And which is sold in 2021, right? We know that the depreciation rate is the first, how much depreciation for this year of assessment? 18-19, how much? How much depreciation for this year of assessment? 18-19. Yes, 200,000. Good. How to calculate? We know 5 years. Useful life is 5. Right? Useful life is 5. So therefore, so we can say in other words, it's 20%. Right? 20%. So 100,000, 1 million into 20% or 100,000, 1 million divided by 5 equal to 200,000. Right. This year, how much? Same amount. Right. How much this year? This year? No. This year? No, because we sold this item this year. So according to the provisions of Inland Revenue Act, there's no capital allowances granted at the year of assessment it sold, right? So how much accumulated depreciation? Accumulated depreciation how much? Equal how much? 400,000 equal 400,000, right? So this figure will come here, right? Now how much written down value now? Written down value how much? Cost 1 million minus accumulated depreciation is 600,000, 400,000, therefore 600,000. Then how much consideration? Consideration how much? 500,000. Right, now equal profit or loss? Profit or loss? Loss 100,000. This loss is called balancing allowances. Allowance. Right? Clear? Right. If it's clear, right, assume that he has sold this asset for right, assume that he sold the asset 2021-22. So how much profit or loss? The asset is sold 2020-2022. Profit or loss? Please post the answer. MS12, MS11. Profit, how much? How much profit? 100,000. How? Here, this year also, there will be a depreciation, right? Then it's equal to 600,000. Then accumulated depreciation becomes 600,000. Therefore, written down value equal 400,000. So cash received, consideration received 500,000. Therefore, 1,000 is a profit. It's called assessable charges. Right? Clear? Clear? Right. Now we move to the next section. Repair. So this section is no need. And repair and improvement. Repair mean what? Repair. So when you are using an asset, it may face some trouble. It may face some trouble, problems. That time you have to make a repair. Right? Repair cost. Actually, repair cost is the allowable expenditures. It can be allowable. We can deduct that repair expenses as profit making expenses. Therefore, we can deduct that expense. Anyhow, there's a limit. There is a limit. right? The major cost cannot be deductible. So there's some formula, there's some restrictions. So we will discuss that one. Expense for the repair or improvement of depreciable assets shall be deducted in respect of whether they are capital nature or not. So capital nature mean, so it can, so capital nature mean if you spend for repair, due to that repair, the useful life of the asset will be increased. Useful life of the machine or the asset will be increased. Earlier it was 5 years. Now after making repair, the useful life may be increased. Right. So the deduction shall not be exceed. So that's a limit. The deduction shall be not exceed for the asset categorized under building, structure, and similar depreciable assets. 5% for building for the asset class 4. So building 5%, for other assets 20% of the written down value of the asset. Listen here, asset at the end of previous year. End of previous year. End of previous year. Excess expense for which deduction is not allowed shall be added to the depreciation basis to the assets. Excess expense for which deduction is not allowed shall be added to the depreciation basis of the asset. Now we will understand this repair using this simple example. Right? Consider the above example and will be required a repair amounting 400,000 in the year of assessment 2020-21. Here, this is the example, right? So that example, continuation of this one. So if you have forget about that, so please read again. The ABC Garment is a garment factory. It acquired a machine on 1st of June 2018 at the cost of 1 million. So the asset was purchased this year 2018-19, right? Many people get very confused, right? The asset is what was purchased on year 2018-19, right? And other things are same, can remain constant, and small adjustment. Consider the above example, and it will be required a repair amounting 400,000 in the year of assessment 2021. So which year repair occur? 20, this year 2021 major repair, right? This year there is a repair, right? Right. Right. The repair expense and depreciable allowance deducted under section 14 and 16 respectively as follows. During the year of assessment, how much repair cost? Repair cost equal 400,000. Repair cost is 400,000, right? So we have to decide whether this 400,000 is allowed or not allowed. So what is the restriction? So we can deduct as a repair cost, make 20% of its written down value. 20% of its written down value in the previous year. Right? So during the year of assessment 2021, the cost of repair was 400,000, and we have to find the limit written down value of the asset at end of the previous year. Right? So we have to take. So what was the written down value of the asset at end of previous year? People are taking this value, but we have to take. So people are taking this value. Wait 1 minute. Right. Right. So written down value of the asset at end of previous year. The repair has made this year, right? This year, 2021. And we had to take in the depreciable as base, so written down value of the previous year. So we have to take this value, 800,000, not this value. We have to take this value, right? We have to take this value. Written down value of the asset end of previous year is 800,000. So the restriction is 20%. So allowable repair cost is 20% of this value here. Written down value of the previous year, this one, not this one. So 20% of 800,000 equal 160,000. This is the limit. 160,000 is the limit. Actual expenditure is 400,000, but government allowed this year as a repair cost is 160,000. So balance how much? Excess 240,000. It will be added to the next. It should be added to the cost of the asset, right? Cost of the asset. Here, this year no issue for you, and this year also no issue. Here, there's an issue, right? The repair is happening this year. So that time, the depreciation base is 600,000. Number of years 3. Right? So, right? So actual repair cost is 400,000, right? The government restricts the repair cost is not exceed 20% of written down value of previous year. So we have to find the restriction, the maximum limit. The maximum limit is here. And this year repair has incurred. We have to take written down value of previous year. So therefore is 800,000. So 20% of 800,000 is equal 160,000. So the maximum limit we can deduct as a repair cost is 160,000. But actual expenditure is right. The government restricted the cost of repairs 160,000. Actual cost is 400,000. So the additional cost 240,000. What is the adjustment for that? So the Act says we have to add this figure into its cost. So I will explain. So this year no issue, 18-19, 19-20 also no issue. 2021 there was a huge repair, right? The repair. So in the repairing year we are not making any adjustments, right? Here we have to include this. We have at the year of assessment 2021 we can deduct 160,000 as a repair cost in the when calculating profit on the business. So what the adjustment for this 240,000? So the adjustment is here 600,000 minus 600,000 minus 200,000 equal how much? How much? Cumulative depreciation 400,000. 400,000. Earlier 600,000 divided by 3 equal to 200,000. So accumulated depreciation equal how much? 400,000 plus 200,000 equal 600,000. Right. Now we come to the depreciable basis. Right. 600,000 minus 200,000 equal 400,000. Right. 400,000 plus this 240,000. How much? 400,000 plus 240,000. How much? Equal 640,000. 640,000. Right. Then how many life remains? 2. 640,000 divided by 2 equal 320,000. So due to that repair, depreciation has increased. So now 600 plus 320,000 depreciation equal 920,000 accumulated depreciation. Right. And 640,000 minus 320,000 balance 320,000 divided by 1. So the last year 320,000 accumulated depreciation equal 1,240,000. So the cost, actual cost is 101 million, and the actual additional repair cost 240,000 equal to 1,240,000. Right. Accordingly, the repair and improvement expense made after the expiration of the number of year in case of 5 years will not be allowed as value for depreciation basis and number of years 0. And even though you have made a repair, made improvement, there is no impact on number of years. Right. So this is the adjustment you have to do. Right. Any questions?